Instead of waiting for a good day to happen, waiting around.
Well, it's one of them TikTok, reels that I have to do all the time that I don't want to do that my daughter tells me I need to do, and she's Instagram savvy. And my business partner, who's like 12, no, he's like 26. That's what we have to do. How come you're not? You need to put some reels
No,
up.
I need one of those.
Deeply rooted. Welcome to another edition of the Waked and Baked Show. Let us know that you can hear us, see us.
Say mic between us.
Shut up. I was putting up the comments so they could see us. We have a road crew with us. Jordan's here with us today. He's our road crew, but all he's doing is eating.
Yeah.
You're over there eating. You're supposed to shine lights on us and do some stuff. Thank you for Cassandra Butler for loaning us Jordan today. That was very, very sweet of her to do. We're going to talk about a bunch of cool stuff today. Different types of CBD. We're going to talk a little bit about exercise and THC and your questions too. So please, you can. Some of you already have my number, my phone, whatever. Do it. Already we got something. Real quick here. Delta 8. We always get questions about this stuff.
Yeah.
What is it exactly?
Well, it's a variant. It's a variant of tetrahydrocannabinoids. So THC in the Delta 9 spectrum is going to be the psychotropic, right? It's going to have psychedelic effects.
Now, hold on a second. I'm very busy right now.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt this, but we are at the Little Mesa Cafe. They're taking such good care of us here that I have a little milkshake here, and I'm sure there are other people going, you don't need that milkshake. I don't care.
That's not just chocolate. What is that? Right?
That is a chocolate strawberry milkshake.
Jeez.
So I am kicked from studio. Removed. There we go.
It looks pretty refreshing.
I just kicked you off and left the thing on.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm such an idiot.
I should still have audio though. So
you still have audio. Oh, you still have audio.
I've been banned.
You've been banned.
Actually, been banned.
Let's put him back in. Add the stream. There he goes. We're back now. If you hand me dessert, I completely get distracted, and I'm really sorry.
You need to just enjoy that.
No, I really should. This is a homemade chocolate strawberry milkshake from Little Mesa Cafe in Mesa, Arizona. And this is I don't even want to tell these guys about this
it's almost
place.
Too good to talk about because then we're never going to get a table. We're never going to be able to come in and eat because everyone's going to be here and the line's going to be too long.
We're tucked away in the corner here. And
troublemaker
section, but it's really nice. This is we had beef stroganoff for lunch.
Yeah.
I'd show it to you, but it's almost half empty.
End up on your keyboard.
Right. But anyway, Delta 8 stuff.
Delta 8. Delta 8 is a variant of the Delta 9. Delta 9 is what most people know of is the drug they test you for to see if you have a psychoactive cannabinoid in your system, right? That would be your impaired state of mind. The Delta 8 doesn't fall in the same classification. It doesn't have the same effects, but it does have really good effects in stress reduction, in dealing with anxiety.
Is it synthetic?
No, it's a variant. So this is what I'm saying. This gets into some real deep science. It's isotonic. It's an isotonic version of the Delta 9. So Delta being changed, right? So this is a degree of change from the chemical compound structure that makes up the string. Everyone's seen the chemistry poster with the circles and the rectangles, right? I need to go back and get my degree in botany so I can eloquently say the things that I can, relate.
Is it safe?
It is. It's just a variant. So here's where it gets into the real tricky business of it. It is a variant of Delta 9, but it doesn't get them. It doesn't get them stoned, right? It does get. I should take that back. It does get you stoned, but it's not the same psychoactive effects. it doesn't have that same effect. That doesn't mean that you won't still test positive for Delta 9. So this is a new thing that people don't even really know about, and it's misunderstood, right? So before we even talk about what we know about Delta 8, let's talk about what we know about the other 111 different cannabinoids in the human system that we can identify, right? That we can find those cannabinoids and we can process them. There's unknown number of cannabinoids that they haven't been identified yet. They haven't tested on them. They haven't found them. We know there's thousands of different chemical compounds, right? And so there's variances. These variances, the change, delta 8, right, has 8 instead of 9 in its structure. And it has a different effect on the brain. Everything from stress and sleep aid, from reducing stress and allowing you to get relaxed sleep, to some other properties. It's all how it affects the immune system. So if you have a high acidic or low acidic blood type and you smoke delta 8, the acidity in your blood will change the molecular compound of this, and it can either make you very, very high. So if you have that specific type, that 8 is going to feel like you hit the best delta 9 shit you've ever had. If it's the other way, you'll be like, well, this is great, but I don't really feel it. I need to move to 9 because it's 8 and you're making it even more muted and more not as a noticeable effect on it. So this is really individualized. This is not a broad paint stripe that we can say, Delta is this and use it for that. Because one guy said this is perfect, the other guy said this is bullshit, and it's the same shit. Sorry for all the cursing.
No, you're allowed to cuss on this show.
No, I'm sorry for it. Yeah. So can they hear us okay?
I was checking with our sound crew, but God knows what our sound crew is doing. Are you looking? What are you looking at? Porn on that? Pay attention. It's so hard to get good help.
Yeah, and now the boom mic.
Boom mic, everything else.
Okay. No, it's usually too much. Actually, I can hear too much.
You can hear too much.
Yeah. So in short, Delta 8 is a variant. That variant has a different effect on the brain. It is really good for stress reduction. It's really good for sleeping.
Oh, here we go. Dear Sean and Rick, you guys once said something about working out with THC, but I'm always makes me tired, exhausted.
Yeah. So you want something in the sativa range.
Sativa range. You
right?
do?
So think of indica is in the couch.
Right.
You taught me that. In the couch. You in the couch because you're smoking indica. Where sativa is more like, it's a beautiful day. I want to go take the dog for a hike. Let's go do Brown Mountain.
Right.
And then there's a spectrum of everything in between. So if you're dealing with mental things like I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I need to relax, I want to shut down a little bit so I can go to sleep and sleep good, wake up and go back to my busy lifestyle, my workload, my things that I have dealing with, the things I have going on that I'm trying to deal with. You start to pick out what medicine works better for you, right? So maybe you're not someone who likes to wake up and have a smoke. Maybe you save that for the weekends and things. After work, you want to relax. You're going to be more into the indica ranges. But every body, right? Every person and every body individually processes these things differently. So one guy says, edibles is the best approach. Other guy likes smoking. One guy does only one guy only does others. So combine them and mix them together. So there's a whole range of ways for each person that's going to be the best way for them. Right. Individual approach.
And that's what I would say. Most likely you've been smoking a indica strain, and no, sativa would be like, also CBD does help with focus.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
I've used CBD before workout, that kind of thing. So, CBD oil works.
One of your clients was saying that putting it on before the workout so that they have already getting some pain cream and getting some good anti-inflammatories into that area, opening up the vascular blood flow with all the good essential oils we have in there. With our CBD oil as a pre-workout.
And it helps with muscle recovery.
Yeah. Stacks those proteins.
I have a friend of mine who's a power lifter that I sent some of the cream to, actually uses it. Doesn't matter. He uses it at night before he goes to bed because it helps with the muscle recovery. So it's really, CBD does help the muscle recovery. And I just got a question here, and I got it earlier about, and I really don't know how to answer this, and I think it's going to be with every person. Person has cancer.
Yeah.
And, For pain, you should use the THC, I guess, how it works for you. We're not prescribing or saying anything like that, but that's going to depend.
You're gonna want to contact us and talk about Rick Simpson oil.
Right.
These different compounds, even when we're talking about, probably segues is a good question to lead into CBG discussion, because now we're talking about things that we know that will go into eradicate some of these foreign cells and how it does it and how it builds up barriers to these things and doesn't allow them to stick around and helps the body flush it out. So we're talking about bone growth, and we're talking about actually fighting foreign cells. This is in that CBG range, right? We're talking about those CBG and mother cannabinoids. This is one of the major building blocks. It's for blood pressure, lowering blood pressure, anti-inflammatory, inhibits cancer growth. This is the main thing that we need to talk about. We can get these elements with the CBG variant, with CBG, and looking at it as a combination of different oils activated at different temperatures. And then you take that as an oral supplement, and it helps the immune system fight off these attacks, including through research, cancer.
And in no way, I'm diagnosing or prescribing other than for the pain and that kind of thing. There's a client who I know that uses the CBD throughout the day for the anxiety that she's going along with the chemo treatments and all of that stuff, and it's helping her with her sleep onset.
It does.
So
she needs to be having some THC in her oral consumption to help with the combination. It's an entourage effect. They work better together. One does really good, one does very good. Combined, they do excellent. Right? They like to play well together. The way you can describe it.
For blood pressure, like you brought up the CBG thing.
For lowering blood pressure.
As a person that has high blood pressure, that kind of thing, is it extracted just by itself, or would that be too hard to do? Or
I can give kind of the short end of it, but basically each one of these has a different melting point, right? When that oil from the combined oil separates into different layers. Kind of like when you're making anything like a mixed drink or something, right? The sugary stuff sinks to the bottom,
right?
And when the ice melts in your whiskey, that rises to the top, right? So you have these different layers. Same thing happens when you're distilling the process of the plant and collecting its vapors, which are its essential oils. Each one of those different cannabinoids we talked about are all different temperatures. And so now we're starting to learn which ones are important for which role, and figuring out the right combinations of these different oils for the right person. Because again, I can make something that's very broad spectrum, right? That's what we call it, broad spectrum. It just has everything minus the THC part. But it may not be just perfect for that person. We're really starting to realize now that this is going to get more individualized. If you're dealing with a critical care need and you're dealing with some serious health issues, you should be consulting with someone like us, you and me, getting a detailed path, with the right type of medication for your right body type, for what you want.
Now, of course, you have high blood pressure. Nobody here is telling you to stop taking your medication and pick up CBD.
No.
Check with your doctors and stuff.
Take it in your regimen and see if there's a change.
Absolutely.
You've been doing everything else the same, still taking your same medication, and you added this and it makes it higher, stop. If it makes it lower, well, now we're onto something. Share the results with your doctor. He might say, stop the pill crap, take more of this. If it doesn't go back any lower, we'll get you back on the pills, right? Now we can, there's got to be this play, this conversation with you and your health provider.
THC and blood pressure. That's different.
Hey, that's one where you spoke. That's where anxiety comes from, right? Is the searching for proteins. That body now, it's got a new chemical in it, and it says, we need protein. We need protein because as soon as we eat something, it can come down, right? And that's where the munchies come from. It's the brain's reaction to an outside effect, right? So you altered your state in some way, and the process of it handling that altered state is that feeling, and that for a lot of people is anxiety. It can come with increased heart rate. It can come with an intense, overwhelming feeling, which might mean that they're too big. It's like the first time you take a drink of alcohol, right? It's usually not kicking back a huge, big glass of straight up, whiskey. It's a beer or a shot, right? And so you build up your tolerance, and you got what works for the body, for you.
Now, but here's a good question. How does THC affect, like I've noticed with me, there are certain strains that I will use that actually help my blood pressure go down.
Yeah.
There are other strains that have actually elevated my blood pressure.
Yeah.
So you have to experiment with that, because I don't think anyone should just say, oh yeah, THC lowers blood pressure, because
no, it doesn't.
It
doesn't.
doesn't.
Say you can't just do a broad brush stroke and just say, oh, this is what it's used for. It's good for that. No, this is what's been identified as something that has helped in this area, right? It's like checking off the box. Yeah, in overall, it's helped, but too much of it won't help you. Too little of it might not help you, right? Or too much of it helps too much, and too little of it you can't tell, right? So there's.
I would
feel
still
like a broken record, but it is so individualized.
And if you have high blood pressure, I would still say stay away from some of the sativa types.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You want to eliminate sativa completely out of the conversation.
Because
You're going to feel it too much.
It was once someone gave me a strain called Critical Amnesia, and all I did was say I needed to feel better.
Right. And now you felt out of body.
I felt out of body experience. It was very nasty. It felt like something out of the 80s. It was not good. It was. Yeah. I really thought I was going to pass out, and have a stroke.
Motley Crue groupie comes out from
right. But no. So that blood pressure thing, it's like, don't take it for granted. I've heard people say that, oh yeah, if I get high, it'll lower my.
Check it, right? If you
check your blood pressure.
Yeah, take it. Check it every 25 minutes and see when you take the medication, did it go up or did it go down, right?
Now, CBD, because it helps with anxiety, CBD, not THC. CBD could help with the blood pressure because of kind of normalizing you out.
Stabilizes, yeah.
What about immune function? Because that seems to be all over the news, right?
Oh, man, what a great topic, right? Well, this is something we've been talking to people about for
immune function.
Yeah, we have a CB1 and CB2 receptor, right? And
right.
We're dealing more like the CB2 receptors, and CB1's more found in the stomach and mostly concentrated in the brain. That's those psychoactive receptors, where the CB2 receptor is what we're dealing with when we talking about all the cannabinoids, all of them together. It's not just one cannabinoid over another. The combination of these cannabinoids is an immune booster. We're talking about an antifungal, antibacterial, right? We're talking about an anti-geonetic, right? Something that fights off foreign cells and said, yo, homie, you're not supposed to be here. We're mammals, and we all have CB1, CB2 receptors. Dogs, cats, horses, dolphins, anything that was or is a mammal species is now found to have it. Even some reptiles have the ability, birds have the ability to pass these through. So we're finding out that it's more broad spectrum, more broad and universal than we knew.
I was now in no ways we did this to boost our immune systems. What's that abused?
We don't abuse our
we
immune
abused
system.
our immune systems during the pandemic. Yeah. Most of us did.
Kidneys.
Actually, I used the oil all during the pandemic as a supplementary way to boost my immune system. And no, I don't know if it cures COVID, so don't ask me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
This is how I understand. I took it the whole time. I ended up getting COVID, right? And having shots or anything, that's a whole separate discussion. But I've always been on my own health regimen, my own health. I grow my own medicine. And I've been, microdosing with RSO, building up, tolerance for years to that, and having my own CBD oil, right, that we make. And I knew it's helping. I knew it was an antifungal. I knew it was an antibacterial. I knew of all of its properties. And so it took how much we would have to take to just kick something as strong as COVID's ass out of your system. It's like, might as well pour a bathtub full of it and then just take turns soaking for an hour.
Right.
Because your skin is the largest tissue, right? So you couldn't drink as much. We'd have to have a $75 breakfast.
Just to do that.
Yeah.
But no, it does help boost the immune system. and anyone could take it that way. So yes.
It is a direct response on our immune system and how it interacts with our body's ability to heal itself.
Now, here's a good question too. And there's some people out there I don't know who will watch this throughout time because
3 people.
well, no, we did pretty well last time.
Ooh, we got some people.
God, it just left my head. No, basically here, what?
The immune system.
No, we already was thinking about something else. Somebody just asked me a question. I'll have to go
You
back.
said that's a very good question.
And it just cleared out of my screen. Does it interfere with other medications?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't. So it sounds like a broken record thing. It's like if you're going to try this, try it, and go into it knowing that. Watch your heart rate, watch your blood pressure, pay attention to what you're doing throughout the day, right? If you took it in the morning, I mean, maybe not take any other stimulants, maybe really cut back the coffee, drink water instead, so you can really identify what you're feeling. What if it interacts with your coffee, right, in the morning, not just your heart medication or your this and that? So I use it to replace all other medication, right, until I have exhausted the means of its ability for how it can help.
But most Americans are used to taking something once.
Yeah.
Here's a pill. Will it work?
Pills are easy.
It's easy. This is not that, but it works over time.
It works better. Because it absorbs in the capillaries in the gums and it bypasses the GI tract and it's not being broke down and being, wasted away in your GI. When you hold it in your mouth and you take it as like oil leading, right? And you can go search up all these things about purifying your body through your mouth and blah, blah, blah. So it's like oil leading. You absorb that into your gums. It's getting right into your system. You're getting those health benefits. And then you just wash down the rest after like 30 seconds or so. You've done a pretty good job of allowing that oil to absorb fully. So, we lost him. He's coming back. Here we go. There you go, Jordan.
Sound man is on drugs again.
Yeah, sound man, lighting man, electrician, roadie, professional Jordan.
Jordan is like our official roadie, driver.
They far out, man.
He reminds me of Shaggy from Scooby Doo. But we should let your hair grow.
Oh, you could pull off Shaggy for Halloween.
Oh man, we really Oh man, it doesn't matter because this might pick this up.
Mike check. Were we? What happened? We really fell off the train tracks.
No, because the computer started to die on me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was trying to get his attention.
Yeah.
But
we're back.
Oh, here was the question that we got. We talked about it some time ago, but another woman named Teresa asked me a question. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I do know what SIBO is and some of those other digestive conditions. She wants to know if CBD can digest.
Yes. In short, yes, because how it helps with your GI tract is going to allow the cells that aren't there to absorb. They're going to absorb it. It's going to help even MCT oil by itself is beneficial. That does help as a digestive. Right? It's going to help in a lot of different areas. A lot of people really say, well, it gives me heartburn. Maybe it's the stress and anxiety that you're having that's giving you heartburn every time you're stressed out and you're having an attack, you're taking the oil, and then you're noticing heartburn. So it's like, let's look at it when you're taking it on a daily basis for 5, 10, or 15 days, and you're seeing long-term effects of building up a good ability to absorb these. Your body like finds a new homeostasis, right? A new level. It adapts. It wants to adapt. It wants to find a way to keep you alive. This is a symbiotic relationship between a species, a plant species, and a human mammal species, and one has a direct effect on the other. We have a receptor in our body for something that comes from this one plant. We don't have special receptors for it. You know what I mean? We don't have a special receptor for pancakes.
I know, between
The beef stroganoff.
how were the pancakes, Jordan?
They're really good.
See, they were.
Yeah, they're really good.
He tests our food to make sure that we're not poisoned because we're celebrities.
Yeah, pretty sure I was being followed this morning by Prius.
But no, that as a digestive, I have found that I've used it. My wife's used it. It helps with some of the bloating
Yeah.
that I get from a big meal.
Well, it helps people, especially who are suffering from gout. Huge. It's anti-inflammatory. So you're feeling bloated, you have gout, you've got other type of circulatory issues. Here's something that might help you. Take it.
Remember what he said? Circulatory issues. CBD can be very good for that.
Yes.
And how that applies. We will be next week. We will be at 88 Vape in Mesa, and it'll be Valentine's Day.
Oh man, all the lovebirds out there, they're probably gonna run some specials.
They're going to have lots of cute specials there. Some of you guys who follow us on YouTube and that kind of thing, send your questions, and then we can work on them.
Yeah,
You know,
especially if they're real detailed. If you have a real specific thing, free consultation.
and flashing them over here. We'll try to answer them, but some of your questions are like, if a black hole has this much mass in it, and a quasar moves like this, it's like, no,
Well, first it has to be binary star system.
binary star system. And we said binary star system. Those two ladies over there in that booth started looking at it.
Because they're on some good shit, man.
But we'd like to thank Little Mesa Cafe for allowing us to eat here, chow
Put up with our
here,
crap.
put up with all our garbage.
Do yourselves a favor, get smart, find this place. I can't tell you where it is. You're just going to have to remember
Little Mesa Cafe in Mesa.
Yeah, it's in the name.
It's on Main Street.
It's on name.
But it's not.
It's an institution.
It's not on Main Street. But I got to tell you, greatest pancakes. I had a chocolate strawberry milkshake just now that's making me stutter. And it's really, really good. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're just saying hello. But next week, check in with us and follow us on YouTube. So when if you don't get to see that wrong, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, and thank you, Jordan.
Yes, Jordan, our key grip audio
Our key
engineer,
grip,
lighting
Foley
expert.
guy, cue card holder, poison tester, and with those girls you got us last week, they were not that good.
Wow, I wish we had a camera pointing that way. He's like, bro, I have to go home after this.
Dude, man, this was take care of us. You did such a good job. All right, thank you guys. Take care.
We're just putting these away.